It's Friday, and you know what that means. It's time for action in the IndyCar iRacing Series. Hello again, everyone. I am Gary Gonzo, and welcome to Race First coverage of Round 12 of the 2022 IndyCar iRacing Series, coming to you from the brand new Grand Prix course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Joining me for in the booth for expert analysis this week, he is my teammate in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Series, and he is our lead color commentator for our Thursday night Brazilian Stock Car Series coverage. It's Antonio Estrada. Antonio, we got you in the booth with something a little bit more familiar with IndyCars. Have you got a chance to try the new road course, and what are your initial thoughts? And what do you think the drivers will be facing today that is different from the old Formula One course?
For sure, Gary. Well, first of all, the job that iRacing did is amazing with this scan. I mean, that's something that we've known for years with all the different things that they've done. But I mean, this was a long way coming to get the current configuration in the service. And yeah, I got a chance to try it out. And I mean, I'm not the best road course racer out there, but yeah, I mean, after racing so much on the old Formula One layout, I mean, there are some places that are very similar and that you can easily get confused, or at least I did. But this one is the current spec. It has some new places where you're going to get an off track, or you're going to get a time penalty if you cut it, especially on turn 1 and in turn 6. So drivers are going to have to be very careful about driving around there and managing those tires through the stints. Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting. I don't think that anyone's going to get confused like I did, like going from turn 3 to turn 4, and that infield part that is no longer present. But instead, it's giving us that very, very quick backstretch off of turn 6, and it's going to be a great race, I think.
Well, we are in the middle of qualifying. Let's get you some times and stuff here on the screen. Kind of get the virtual who's who of the IndyCar high-end driver community showing up today and this week. Of course, the first time we got to look at this track was Monday for Indy Open. This is the first time anyone for the IIS is getting a chance to look at this track under competition. At least they've had a week to kind of get some open setups, or more refined open setups under themselves for this race. So we might actually see some times in this race faster than what we saw from Indy Open as possible. So we will keep our eye open for that. We got about 3 minutes 39 seconds remaining here in qualifying. Provisionally on the pole is a good friend of the program, Will Lyon. The Lion is hunting today, and right now he has secured himself at least a provisional pole. Now, P2, I don't want to butcher his name. We'll say it both ways, which we think it's said. I think I covered a race with him in it before. I think it's Boat Fuhrer, but it might be Botafuhrer. So we're very sorry. We'll try to maybe just call you John, not try to say your last name. But he is currently P2. Connor Harrington, after having a good showing in the Lionheart Series this weekend, he is P3. Driver that I know pretty well, David Porcelli here, P4. Kevin Burrell, friend of the program, starting at P5. Julian Klein-Busnick starting currently provisionally P6. Actually now bumping up to P4 with that lap that time by. Let's get you some times here for you get an idea of what's going on. 1:10.646. So now we could actually talk about IndyCar track records here, because for the longest time when we were on the F1 course, we were always talking about Rubens Barrichello track record there.
Right.
So now we actually have a bona fide IndyCar track record here, and that was set with the speed of, and I don't have times because, again, this is a racing reference website. They have everything in speed, but not necessarily always in time. But he has a speed of 129.687 miles per hour set by, well, who else? But now the all-time IndyCar pole position winner, that's Will Power. He set that back in 2017 in the last year of the DW12 chassis, or the DW12 Aero kit. Of course, remember, these are the same tubs, even though they're just dressed differently, and they're called the IR18. It's still the old DW12 tub that's under all of that carbon fiber. To no one's shock, the career wins leader here is Will Power. He has 5. Simon Pageau's right behind him. He has 4. Between Will and Simon, they won. They split the first 6 races here ever on the circuit. And then the only person to broke that, to no one's surprise as well, is he's now second in all-time wins in IndyCar, Scott Dixon. So he broke that streak. So do not be surprised this weekend when you're watching IndyCar on NBC that it's another Will Power win or another Scott Dixon win here, especially with all the controversy around Ganassi Racing. I'm sure they would love to see another Ganassi win here at the Brickyard to kind of quiet all of those negative press going on right now.
Yeah, and Palou was very, very fast last year until he blew up. So that's also something to, that they will be watching very closely to see how he does. Although he's no longer privy to a lot of access of data.
Yep.
Because, of course, because of all the contractual obligations and whatever is going on there. But yeah, I mean, Will Power, we know that he's basically the master here, so I would expect him to be on pole this weekend. We'll see about that tomorrow.
Yeah, Joseph Newgarden's cleared the race. He's a former winner here. Of course, Colton Herta, former winner here. Rinus VeeKay, former winner here. So those are names to keep your eyes open this weekend. But right now, about 2 seconds left, and we'll start lining up. And before we get to that starting lineup, would it surprise anyone that less than half of everyone watching this broadcast right now have subscribed to this channel? Well, probably not. But here are the numbers just to show you. According to YouTube Analytics, 50.9% of you are not subscribers, so let's change that right now. Help us on our drive to 1,000 subscribers. If you enjoy Race First coverage of the IndyCar iRacing Series and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. We have less than 120 subscribers to go to get to the magical 1,000 mark, so help us by hitting that subscribe button right now. We absolutely cannot get there without you. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you don't miss out on more of future Race First iRacing broadcasts. So now let's get into it here as people are gridding up.
All right, and on pole position, we're gonna find Will Ion with a 110.6. Next to him on the front row, John Butterfer with a 110.8. Then we have Connor Harrington and Hayato Matsuda in row 2. Kevin Burrell and Julian Klein-Busnick in row 3. Then we have David Porcelli and Chris Baumann, row 4. Dylan Freckleton and Alex Haglund are going to be in row 5. Then we have Harley Lloyd and Chris Hill, row 6. Julian Vidal and Seamus Power, row 7. Will Weiser and Matthias Kraus, row 8. Andrew Duffy and Cesar Cabral, row 9. Then we have Robert Nash and Gerard Borrell in row 10, Josh Brain and Richard Crozier in row 11, and Colin Finland in row 12. I hope I didn't butcher anyone's last name. If I did, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we apologize in advance. There you go, your 23 car field. Nice showing. But remember, everyone wants to be the first to win on a road course, or first to win on any course that's offered by the service when it comes to the strength of field race. So that's why we have a good showing today. Got the long pace lap here. Pace lap, formation lap, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, but something interesting already. I mean, on the old layout that we had, I mean, there were lap times around minute 12, minute 11. We already see that it's at least a second faster for Will Lyon that managed at pole position, so 110, and that's without drafting and push to pass. So I think we're going to be seeing some faster laps as the race develops, and once they are also with lower fuel and etc. There are many circumstances that are going to be playing into that, but so far already a faster track, which kind of makes sense because I mean we're no longer going there to the right that we would typically do, and not going through that infield section.
Well, there you go. We do have a track map, the updated track map. Thank you, RaceLab apps. So if you're not familiar with the course, this is Holman Boulevard. This is the back stretch that runs basically directly through the middle of the facility. This is kind of the spine of the facility right here. If you ever arrive on a practice day on the oval 500 or whatever, I'm sure you've driven or walked on this part of tarmac as you've either parked your car or walked to one end of the racetrack or another. Now they're turning into the portion of the infield that's going to include the golf course. This is all originally part of the Formula One course right here. And then they're going to pop out on the oval right in front of the Turn 2 suites, the Riley Children's Hospital suites there. And then they'll navigate Turn 2 like they normally do. And then when they get halfway through the north or the south chute there, between ovals Turn 1 and 2, they will turn into an infield portion that used to be kind of integrated in with the bike course. If anyone's seen the bike course, it is an option to race here on iRacing. I know a couple of leagues do it for fun and games. It's an interesting take on the oval too, because it's the opposite, or the road course. It's the opposite direction. Here's where they would peel off also for pit road, if they would continue going straight where the pace car is going. And now they're getting ready to rejoin the oval race course, and the field is under the command of Will Lyon. And we are getting ready to go green, and he wastes no time. Green flag, and he gets a huge jump, and we are underway at the Brickyard. The weave starting already down the front stretch. Connor Harrington looking to the inside of John Botendorf here. He is not quite going to clear him as they are battling for that position. Beaufort gets the position. Harrington still battling for it. Right behind these two is Klein Busnick.
Yeah, Klein Busnick had a massive, like he had a great start, and he just went by Hayata Matsuda there in turn 1, and now he's hounding Harrington and Bedford for P2.
Yeah, Klein Busnick was on push to pass right at the start. Number of cars, actually a couple drivers took advantage of the push to pass on the start, but not an awful lot did. Everyone's getting through that back portion. There's Christopher Hill. We saw him last night in our Stock Car League coverage, winning at Fuji. Here's Chris Bauman, Will Weiser, Seamus Power, Cesar Cabral back there are battling with Matthias Kraus. Matthias Kraus had a good race at Iowa in the Lionheart Series. Crozier, Brain, Finland rounding out the remainder of the field, coming to the end of lap 1 right now. Bodenfuhr is making up some ground there on Will Lyon, shrinking that lead down. And this portion right here is part of the old. Now, you see where the road deviates to the left there? That is a new portion. Where it goes to the right, that's the old Formula One portion. And you can still race that on the service. I believe it's called Indy Speedway or Indy Grand Prix 2009, I think.
Yeah, Indy 2009, that's what it's called.
Ooh, Bodenfield's getting really good runs off the corners. Oh, we had a Klein Bush that kind of an issue back, it looks like at the end of Holman Straight. He is back underway, but he has lost a number of positions. Right now he is fighting off now a charging Christopher Hill for the bottom spot in the top 10.
Yeah, I was looking at him. He just basically spun on his own. I mean, that's what happens with cold tires, and after, braking a little later than he intended to, and yeah, the car just went around. But luckily, he saved it, and he didn't really lose that many spots. I mean, he only lost like 4 to 6 positions, something like that. We still have time for him to make that run back up.
Yeah, very long race again. The IIS longer races than Indy Open. So, in the if this is your first time watching this, you kind of saw this based on your curiosity of what. That is who was that? Bauman going through the grass there. Looks like he had to cut the grass, so he has to give up some positions and otherwise get a penalty. I think that's what he's doing right now. Andrew Duffy on the in that Vector car, bouncing off the corners there. But if you're just checking us out because of curiosity of the new course here, thanks for joining us. We really do appreciate it. If you're not very familiar with the official hierarchy of official IndyCar races here on the service, it's Indy Fixed is a bit of a mini sprint race. Typically, there's always at least one pit stop involved there at the Indy Fixed with the fixed setup. Then there's Indy Open, which is a longer than Fixed. Typically at least one full pit stop and maybe a partial on the other. But as open setup, so each team or driver develops their own individual setup, or they can get it from one of the setup shops. Or they can try and utilize what iRacing gives you. Good luck with that. Because that's what we get for fixed. That's what iRacing gives us. And then, of course, IIS here is the longest of the three. I believe it's 75% of what they will race in real life this weekend, Saturday. And
yeah, that's exactly right. 75% of the actual race length on Saturdays or on Sundays.
Go back up to the front. Connor Harrington is getting really close to Botenfier in the moment. Connor Harrington with that private label team. They pretty much dominate the top of the charts in the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Well, we are working on getting my man Caleb Binsey, our Race First sponsored and Race First driver, up in the P3 there. So trying to change the culture a little bit there in Lionheart, getting a little new blood up at the top. Good battle for the top three right here.
Yeah, I was watching them. They're separated by a blanket. I mean, they're all together there. John Bedford has had some great runs off of the front stretch onto turn one, but he has not committed to making the pass. I think he's happy right now where he's at. But I mean, that's also something to take into account. How are these guys going to take care of the tires? We see that the top four on the alternate tire, yep. And then we have Kevin Birelli and David Porcelli on the primary tire. So I'm not sure how much of a difference the fall-off is going to be on the reds versus the blacks. So that's going to be very interesting to watch as this race unfolds.
And these guys on the prime tires will want to get around those four ahead of them as soon as possible. Not sure what's going on with the 17 there. That's Josh Brain off the pace. Might be having a bit of an issue letting everyone go on by. Richard Crozier looks like he's in the pits with an extended stop. Must have had an incident a little bit early. So two cars experiencing a little trouble here early. 6 of 65 here at the Indy Grand Prix road course. Your leader, there he is, Will Lyon in that IAR car, Indy Alliance Racing. I was just saying during our coverage of the Indy Fixed about the IAR cars, saying a mouthful, which is the former Three Crowns Racing from based out of Scandinavian countries there. But they have really come on strong here in the last season or two of iRacing, especially in the open ranks. They are a really stout team with the fixed setup races, especially on the ovals. They have a great squad of oval racers there. But they kind of had to learn from scratch a little bit and recruit some drivers to help on the open and getting those open setups redefined. And they are really coming on strong here in the last season and a half in open setup racing here at the Indy cars. So it's a team on the up and rising there, the IAR team, Indy Alliance Racing. Have a couple of their cars in the lineup. If we can come back and find, is there another one here?
Just wanted to mention that David Porcelli just went by Kevin Burrell there for P5, and immediately he already has put around 0.7 of a second between him and Burrell. So he might be trying to mount a charge and get closer to the top 4 there.
David Porcelli, very fast on the road course. He's got some real-world racing experience under his belt. The Lydian show here, and Indy Open and in the IIS. The battle for position, Harley Lloyd. There in that Vodafone former F1 livery. Dylan Freckleton following him on through. Julian Klein-Bustic still in the 10th spot. And that Vector Racing right behind him, Alex Hagelin. And that DHL livery for Andretti Racing. Or Andretti Motorsport.
Autosport.
Yeah, Autosport there. Got the there's enough down on that backstretch to get a draft, and there are 3 cars looking at a different spot, each one of them on the entry of turn 7 there.
Yeah, they're super close together, and they made it work. I mean, these guys are driving a phenomenal race so far. Very little incidents we've seen. However, I think we're starting to get to that point where the tires are start to fall off a little bit. We might be getting closer to, a little bit, maybe another 5 to 6 or 7 laps until these guys need to pit for new tires. But at this point, the tires are already starting to degrade, and you can see it already on the times that they're doing. They were doing 112s. And now they're up to 113, so they already have lost at least a second of pace. So that's something to keep in mind afterwards to know, when these guys are going to strategize, to change, get the tires, and when to pit, to do an overcut, an undercut, etc. As Klein-Bustic just went by Freckleton, and now Hagelin is hounding them for P10.
There is your times right now on the racetrack. Fastest is Connor Harrington. He's purple with a 1:11.703. New column here, and this is another from Race Lab apps that really enjoy. Last 5 lap average, and there you see currently the camera is on Alex Hagelin. That's why he is highlighted, but we could give you the last 5 lap average for all these drivers and give you an idea of who is storming with these older tires and who is not. So that's a good little additional stat that they put on their overlays there. Find it very useful. Actually found it very useful during the Lionheart race while spotting for Caleb there, just letting him know that he was faster than the first 5 cars ahead of him. It's a great additional stat, so glad they added that. Oh, Hagelin a little deep in the 1. That's going to open the door for Freckleton to take a look underneath. He's going to allow Klein-Bustic to, he's going to allow Hagelin to recover a little bit.
Yeah, but it also brought Chris Hill there.
There's Chris Hill, yep.
And now he's actually looking to make a pass on Freckleton there. He's going to send it there in an entry of turn 7.
Hagelin on push to pass.
And
Christopher
Chris
Hill
makes it work. A little touch
little
from
touch.
behind.
That's a little nudge, little kiss. Doesn't look like any damage was done, other than maybe increased a couple heart rates.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was very lucky that there was no damage, because sometimes this car can be very flat fragile.
Yeah.
And a single incident like that might turn into a broken wing, and then I need to pit to change it. But yeah, good pass there by Chris Hill.
Yeah, looking in chat. Yeah, that's who I was missing. There's Rashid Craig. He's in chat. He's got a wedding that he says he's going to attend to here in a bit. He's not in today's race. That's the other car I was looking for. I thought he was going to be in the lineup, but he's one of the other IAR racers. So it looks like Will, our leader, is the only IAR car in the lineup today. So he is going to get picked on by everyone else, and that's not got a single teammate to help him out. Also in chat, we got Fagundo Rago. One of our participants in the Brazilian Stock Car Series. He's the points leader over there. Of course, last night he was competing with this guy, Christopher Hill. Christopher Hill won last night in our coverage at the Fuji Speedway. Check that out. It's about 9 o'clock on Thursday nights. Myself and Antonio. It's a 8-week season. Next week we will be at Laguna Seca. Check us out. Best way to do that is subscribe and hit the bell. We'll give you reminders whenever we update our broadcast. Also in chat, there's Nick Sudik. He is on assignment, let's say. And that's why we got Antonio with us in the booth. Hagelin looking to pull away a little bit, but Will Weiser in the AlphaTauri livery. He is right sticking with Christopher Hill.
I was just looking back at the top 3 again, and they are still so tightly together. I think we're going to be seeing some changes once they go into the pit road. I'm not sure if anyone is going to blink first, or if they're going to go together and stay together for the majority of the race until the last stint, and that's when they're going to pounce.
Well, we're looking at pit window. The first stop should be coming up here soon, rather soon.
There's a massive incident there. Robert Nash, Matthias Cross.
Oh, let's check this out. This is at looks like turn 7.
Yeah, turn 7.
Oh, Kraus. Yeah, he's missing part of a nose. Let's go back in time here real quick. Take a look at this. Go back in the Wayback Machine, and it looks like Kraus looking to make the move here.
He locked up against Seamus Power, and then
ooh, tries to dig deep in there, braking, and just overshoots and kisses Seamus Power there a little bit, and then unfortunately collected Robert Nash there, unfortunately.
Yeah, Robert Nash, an innocent victim in that.
And back up front, their leaders really no more than 3 to 6 tenths away from each other during this entire run. In fact, this is probably one of the bigger leads Lion has had since the start of the race.
Yeah, and it's still under a second. I mean, these guys are sticking together like glue. We'll see what happens after a while.
Well, here's the difference. Lion starting the weave already. Sea Snake, but Lion last time by a 1:13.2, Bodenford a 1:13.2, but the previous lap before that, Bodenford must have had a bad turn or something, because Lion was about a half second faster. So that's what kind of opened that gap up a little bit, as you see.
Yeah, and Connor Harrington, the fastest of those 3 guys, he did a 1:13.1. I mean, not a lot, but it's still a 10th faster than the other 2. Yeah,
he's just been very patient. This is kind of the MO of this team. Very cerebral, this entire private label team. They're not known for, the being over aggressive and making mistakes. They kind of allow you to make the mistake, and they'll make up for it. And he's just kind of pacing here, probably saving some fuel in the process. And he doesn't really need to do anything but just keep these two in front of him, and then he can go racing a little bit later in the race when he feels when he's good and ready. Here's the weave once more down the front straight.
Yeah, for sure. Just staying in somebody's draft, that's gonna save you a little bit of fuel here and there. Although he has a little bit of a moment there on braking and entering turn one. But yeah, I'm sure he's saving a little bit of fuel, so we might see him go a little extra. Although, again, the tires really are, degrading. So you might just want to go ahead and turn and pit with the other two leaders and stay with them until it's your moment to pounce. Although he just lost like a second there on that turn.
Yeah. And all of these guys still have their push to passes. Now, the MO for Will Lyon is he will use them until, not use them until the end, actually. And then he'll, towards the end of the race, he'll start spamming that button and starting to put some distance between himself and the cars behind him. That's if he's leading. We've seen him run people down before, too. So he uses those for basically saving all his power-ups in video game terms for the very end here. Of course, push to pass, familiar with IndyCar, gives you a quick additional boost of horsepower for in IndyCar here, 20-second intervals while you're at 100% power. The second that you come off 100% or shift down, your push to pass turns off. You got 10 pushes of the button, and when you're out, you're out. Overuse of the button will impact your fuel conservation, or fuel consumption, excuse me. So be careful. Don't want to use it too much. Otherwise, the last place you want to run out of fuel where these cars are right now on Holman Straight.
Yeah, for sure. If you're abusing that, you're going to get a lot of more fuel consumption. So yeah, it's a very strategic tool to use. It's something that's really going to help you get closer to somebody else or complete a pass. But you also want to have them for defense, especially in the home stretch. Once you're getting on those last couple of laps, you definitely want to have at least one or two in the tank in order to fend yourself off from any potential aggressors that are behind you.
Going another lap into this stint, 16. No one's pitted yet other than those who've had issues. We currently have, looks like 22 cars running. One car out at the moment. That's Robert Nash. And showing him out, even though showing him in pit road. Crozier down 3 laps. Currently in 23rd. He'll pick up a spot here very shortly with a Nash out. Again, watching our leaders navigate down Holman Straight.
I was just watching Julian Klembuznik just went by Julien Vidot there for P7. He's coming back from that early spin he had. He was all the way back to P10, and now he's made his way back to P7 already.
Got the camera on him as leading a good group of cars there. Vidot, Lloyd, Haglin, Hill, Weiser, Power all in the picture.
Leaders are starting lap 18. I'm guessing that they're going to be able to, that they're going to need to pit around maybe this lap or next time by. Although if they're able to make it last 21 laps, then they would be able to make it in 2 stops.
You see in the background there the Hall of Fame Museum. open year-round at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So, hey, Antonio, you made your first visit to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway during 500 weekend.
I did.
It's a lot bigger when you get to the place. When you see it on TV, you're like, it doesn't look that big. And then when you finally step into the hallowed halls here, so to speak, it is quite the place.
Yeah, the Speedway is massive. Once you see it from afar, it's like, wow, this structure is incredibly big. And then you start walking to your gate. I was in the middle around the pagoda section. And I had to walk a lot. We had to walk a lot. And it was like a 20-minute walk just surrounding the track. It was totally a sight to behold. And then we were at the Hall of Fame on Monday, and we ran into Simon Pageant. Terrific guy, by the way.
Very, very cool. Yeah, a lot of the drivers, and if you watch Formula One and you're familiar with Formula One and that style of racing, again, very similar looking cars, so to speak. There just really isn't the driver engagement that they have in IndyCar. IndyCar has always had a pretty good history of driver engagements, much to some of the Formula One drivers that came over and they're like, heck, what is it? Like Nigel Mansell had a hard time of it when he first came over to IndyCar because he wasn't used to the driver engagement that the fans have access to. But yeah, you see them walking all over the place at the facility and you can just say hi, and they are all pretty much approachable. I don't really think I've ever run into a driver that has been in a bad mood. Of course, you would know if they've been in a bad mood if you hear them wreck or something like that, or you might not want to say hi to Will Power when he's flipping off the camera afterwards, something like that. You don't want to do that. But everyone else is really, really approachable, getting autographs and whatnot. So yeah, I'm glad you had a good time here at your inaugural Indy 500.
Thank you. No, yeah, it was a blast, certainly, and I'll be there soon, hopefully. Yes, I'm seeing that Hayato Matsuda, the first of our top runners, is pitting here on lap 20.
Yep, we got Jason Brophy, also with that private label team. He's in chat. He's saying lap 22 for Connor. So Connor probably has about another 2 laps to go. So we'll probably see him hitting pit road there. The push to pass says adds Vilmarker says here push to pass adds about 1/10 of a liter per lap, and that is absolutely correct. 1/10 of a liter. And yeah, we did have a little cloud cover, and that was going to help people with the tire temperatures. Actually, in real life, very, very good weather today in here in Indianapolis. We've had no spoilers. I have not seen it yet, so qualifications are complete for the GP on Saturday. I have no idea who's on the pole. Please do not talk about it in chat. I want to check that out for myself. But I would imagine we had a good showing out there, and typically. How it is on especially Fridays. That's when we have carb day for the oval race, and here on NASCAR or IndyCar weekend, a lot of people come down with a mysterious ailment that prevents them from going to work, and then all of a sudden they show up at the track. So I'd imagine we got a good showing there at the track with the weather that we have today, and I'm willing to bet that a lot of people called in sick.
So if they're pitting on lap 22, that's really interesting because they should be able to then just split it into thirds and just pit twice. I'm not sure that Hayato Matsuda that just pitted or some of the other guys that are starting to go into pit road right now, they're going to be able to make it to the end unless they save a ton of fuel or they don't use that push pass at all.
Well, let's check out. Any of these making a move to pit road. There's Bodenfuhrer. Going to make that road turn there. Actually goes straight. Now he makes the turn on the pit road. Down to the limiter right there at the cone. And now he has a long, slow roll to his stall, which is one of the first ones right behind that pace car. There we go, right along board there.
Yeah, we'll see if he goes for the primaries or stays on the alternate tires. They do need to switch at least once to either the primary or the alternate. But since they're going to be pitting twice, they will be able to repeat whichever compound they're most comfortable with.
According to our main race first nod, Nigel did enjoy the meal plan while he was in the car. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He was right there along with AJ Foyt. And later Tony Stewart when he joined the series. Well, AJ had a specially made Lola so he could fit into the cockpit. Here we go, Bodenfuhr and Colin Finland there. Not sure, that's not Bodenfuhr there. Who was that there? That's in the Ericsson.
Yeah, it was Colin Finland.
Colin Finland, okay. Colin Finland in another car. That must be... there it is. That's Josh Sprain. Josh Sprain there in the Husky Chocolate. Which I don't even think we could buy here in the States. Can we buy Husky Chocolate in the States? I know it's like an energy drink and chocolate milk and...
I don't think you can buy it anywhere. From what I've heard, it's basically only for hotels and only in like Scandinavia or whatever. It's pretty much a myth. Although a few ones that I've heard that have been able to taste it, they say it's really, really good. So now I kind of want to taste one.
Well, we got one of our Scandinavian friends in chat. We got we got Polvera there. And it's Jesper, I know, but Jesper.
Looks like John Bedford is going to be coming P2 just behind Will Lyon there.
Yep. Jesper, have you ever had any Husky Chocolate? Let us know. The Bodenfuhr out in the third spot there. Christopher Hill is your leader at the moment. And we did see, we were watching other drivers as pit stops happened. As said on chat, Lyon and Connor Harrington did pit at 22.
Yeah, it looks like both Will Lyon and John Bedford, they've changed to the primary. For Connor Harrington, I still see him on the reds, although my overlay says he's on the primary, but could be an issue with my overlay.
Yeah, let's take a look here. There is a known glitch in, and here's Christopher Hill hitting pit road, saved some fuel. He's coming on lap 24. And he's hitting for scheduled service. Will Lyon is your leader, showing Will Lyon on the prime. So he is being reflected there with the black sidewall tires. Yeah, visual bug on primary. And that has been a known issue, and I've actually reported it to iRacing, and I'm surprised they haven't fixed it. But we can tell you in timing and scoring who's on what, and that is actually accurately shown. Bodenfuhr is on the prime tire. Connor Harrington is shown on the prime tire in the overlay. So he is not actually on the reds in the sim at the moment.
Ah, okay. Well, then they're all following the same strategy and sticking together once again. I mean, they haven't been able to get away from each other, basically. Will Lyon, as hard as he's trying, he has John Bedford right behind him every single lap. And I'm sure that John Bedford is happy just driving there. I mean, he hasn't really tried to make a move, although he's showing it now, and he goes for the lead.
Side by side in the one. And he is driving that Gomez Sim Industries car. My Gomez Sim wheel arrived today. I haven't got a chance to use it because I had to do the broadcast.
Oh, nice.
Sim broadcasting pays a little. Enough to offset the cost of a Gomez wheel.
That's great. Well, that's our first lead change of the entire race. Although these guys have been close together all race long, and I was just saying, and I jinxed it, I guess. But John Bedford, your new leader, and Will Lyon now following him. Let's see if he's able to keep the pace with him, and what the strategy is.
I like this camera shot right here that we're looking at. Gives you a good idea of everyone coming out of the oval turn 2 through the short chute into that new infield portion. Richard Crozier is that car currently down low that John's trying to get a bit of a draft off of. Slowing down, I'll let the leaders on by. Very gentlemanly of him. And, oh, Connor, yeah. Connor was in deep on that corner trying to break there, but he survived it.
Yeah, he really had to let up there and brake a little harder there. I'm not sure if that hurt the tires a little bit. Hopefully not.
This battle, all 1 second of another. And then the next battle back, or the next car back, and he's by himself at the moment, is right here, David Porcelli. And that Satellite Racing VRS sponsored Dallara. He's normally teammates with the points leader, Adam Crane, which we will show you the points here just momentarily. He is all by himself by about 7 seconds forward and 11 seconds behind to Burrell. And there is Burrell coming through the infield portion of Turn 1, the old snake pit. If you're familiar with the old how the way Indianapolis Motor Speedway used to be before they put in the road course, that was the snake pit there. And then it moved to Turn 4 briefly, and now they have this watered down whatever snake pit there in Turn 3 that they have people with a DJ that come to a race but not watch a race. Although coming to the Indianapolis 500 is still very much a place to, in the city with everybody, it's still a place to be seen. Not necessarily if you want to watch a race, but to be seen. People still come to the race. But the heydays of the old original snake pit, of all of the dirt and debauchery, and yes, there was a lot of that. Those days are over, unfortunately. But,
right, but yeah.
Many memories as a sub 10-year-old walking through the Turn 1 snake pit. I remember I was about 12 and I was sitting. No, how old was I? Was 14. I was sitting in the Turn 4 bleachers. And there was a big riot in the snake pit in Turn 4, and they had mounted police there and the whole 9 yards, and it was like the best thing I've ever seen at 14 years old. But yeah, the old snake pit, missing it very much. But Indianapolis Motor Speedway is always in a flux of change, and especially with Roger Penske as the owner of this facility. He's just really sprucing it up, and you got a chance to really see it in its best state ever, really, I think, when you got here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the track and all the facility, that it was in pristine condition. Everything was great. So yeah, I imagine a lot of it had to do with Roger Penske's hand there. As I'm saying, the Will Weiser, Seamus Power just spun now, trying to pass him. Sent it a little too deep in Turn 1 and spun out while attempting to move, but no harm, no foul.
Maybe if you're Seamus, you're thinking. Maybe if you're Seamus, you're not thinking on that one. Yeah, no. Unfortunately, unlike league racing or the possibility of league racing, there's no live race control here. If somebody needs to protest, they need to protest after the race. I do like how iRacing that makes you, if you do want to protest, they give you a cool down period where you. Oh, here comes Connor Harry to the inside. And he has spent enough time following these two, and he says it's time to go, and he picks up the position on Will Power. Will could also be conserving fuel a little bit. We do not know that necessarily, so we'll see as the next round of pit stops start to come around here.
Yeah, I was thinking that both Will Lyon and Connor Harrington would be okay on fuel by pitting, lap 22. They should be able to pit on lap 44 if everything goes according to plan, and then they should be able to make it to the end. But yeah, I'm not so sure on John Butterfer. I mean, he went one lap earlier, so he's gonna have to pit at least on lap 43. Should be enough, but it's probably gonna be close. And now there's a little bit of a difference. He's starting to mount and create a little bit of a gap between himself and Harrington there of around 2 seconds, but It's pretty much the largest gap we've seen all race long. And yeah, I'm sure there's some fuel conservation going in probably somewhere like with Will Lyon, but I'm not sure that John Butterfer is holding anything back right now.
But if here is the the #1 car, so that means he has the most I rating of all the other cars in this split.
Yeah, around 6,500.
Oh, just 6,500.
Yeah, just 6,500.
A pedestrian 6,500.
And just so that everyone that's watching us know, whenever you start iRacing, you get 1,300, 1,350.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep. Yep.
We all start with 1,350, and then it's basically an ELO system where you just win iRating from beating other guys, and you lose iRating if you end up behind some other guys.
Yep.
So having 6,500 I rating is
he's beat a lot of people.
Yeah, he's beat a lot of people.
And here we can give you an idea of what the strength of field here is. We do have that. We can give you that right here on the full field standings here with the last lap times. Purple speed, still Connor Harrington. Strength of field's at 3.7K, so it's very robust here. These guys all know what they are doing inside these Indy cars. Possibly, I say, and somebody might say that they drive the Mercedes, the Formula One car. They might say that's the hardest car to drive on the series. I think of all the cars on the service, this is probably one of the most involved one, with everything you can change, not only just the setup, but just in the cockpit alone.
Yeah, for sure. You need to be mindful of where your bars are set at. You're probably going to be changing them to stiffen the suspension a little bit, either on the front or on the back, depending on how the car feels. You also have the weight jacker to change the crossbar of where the car is moving to. And there are also some wing adjustments that you can do, not necessarily directly in the car, but you can change them on the pits. Plus, you have the fuel mapping.
Brake bias.
The brake bias. You have a lot of tools available for you to make changes on how the car is driving. Yeah, I agree. It's probably one of the most invested in that sense, even more than the Formula One car probably. Although you have to change the settings on the F1 car to have the DRS deploy and to have the hybrid system kick in. They're just different beasts altogether.
Yeah. Let's take a look and see what we got. A good battle brewing back for 11th here for Hagelin and Klein Busnick. Let's take a look at that here. Coming into turn 1. This is the closest battle on the racetrack at the moment.
Yeah, Will Weiser seems to have closed off around like half a second on Alex Hagelin there for P11.
And if you're just joining us, this is race first coverage of the Friday's top split of the IndyCar iRacing Series, coming to you from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Grand Prix course, where we've completed 33 of 65 scheduled laps. If you're enjoying race first coverage of today's race rather, and would like to monetarily support our commentary team, make sure you donate via our GoFundMe link in the description. For your convenience, so you don't lose track of any of the action, you can donate right now and still listen to our call of the race. All you have to do is right-click on the link in the description, open our GoFundMe page in another tab, and make your donation, and just like that, you're done. And you can come right back and join us here on the video side, where we are currently watching a battle for 10th, 11th spot right now between Alex Hagelin and Will Weiser.
Yeah, Will Weiser trying to show the car, making Alex make a mistake, and he did. So they're going to be coming side by side, entering 2. And now going into turn 3, he's going to be able to complete that pad there. Great move by Will Weiser.
Yeah, that's not really a passing zone there, and he pulled that off with some great skill. So he is up a position, and now he's going to try to track down Klein Busnick, who is entering just the turn at the end of the Holman Straight, right in front of him there. He is the bottom of the top 10 at the moment, and he'll be trying to run him down. Right in front of him is Harley Lloyd, and that older McLaren livery for Formula One. Right in front of him, last night's winner in the Carnival Stock Carnival de Brazil series that we have, the Brazilian Stock Car Series. He won last night at Fuji. It says Christopher Hill and his PRI. That's his own racing school right there, professional racing instruction. Check him out. I believe you can find that on Twitter, Facebook, you name it. Just do a Google search. He is a real-life driving instructor. He's been learning these Indy cars over the last couple of seasons that we've seen him in. Not necessarily here in the IIS, but we've seen him in the Revolution Indy League, the Schaefer IndyCar Series, the RL there. Check it out if anyone is IndyCar or wants to do some IndyCar racing. Done a league. It's a fixed setup league, runs Wednesday night. And also the Tuesday night Formula Indy Series, also here on Raceverse, which if you like IndyCar racing, but you like it Formula One style, that is a series you need to check out. Probably the biggest fields and most strength of field you see in a fixed setup league this side, easily this side of Lionheart. That's how steep the competition is there. We've seen him learning the IndyCar there, and he certainly started to pick it up as of late. And he is maintaining his spot in the top 10. Here's Gilles-Villeneuve. He, in that cube car, is currently P7. Looking a ways up the main straight here in the, well, that's not Scotty D, but that is Heyo Masuda, and actually he is numbered correctly in the number 9. PNC Bank Dallara, that's Matsuda, currently holding spot in P6. Kevin Burrell, all by himself right here in the middle of the Holman Straight, currently in P5. David Porcelli, just making laps, being consistent, doing what he needs to do to get some good I rating out of this race and get a good top 10 finish, top 5 finish. And while we're talking about it, here are the IIS point situation for Division 1. Adam Crane not in the lineup. I believe he is doing something at Indianapolis this week, I think. I could be wrong. But I'm sure he participated in some earlier races this week. Will Lyon, of course, looking to capitalize on P2. Matthias Kraus, also in today's lineup, had a bit of a rough day already. Rashid Craig, well, he's at a wedding, so hopefully he's made his races earlier. Richard Crozier, there is in 5th. He's had a bit of a rough day right now. He's in 21st. Principal Dan, he is not in today's lineup, but I'm sure we will see him line up in another split sometime. Christopher Baumann, he is back in 16th, and we'll bring the camera on him in just a moment. David Porcelli, we were just watching him. Klein Bustic in 9th, and Manzato in 10th. That is your Division 1 point situation here in the IIS. And there is Baumann in the player's livery, which was a car that won here at Indianapolis in 95 on the oval. Jacques Villeneuve, or if you're Paul Page, it's Villeneuve. Jacques, for the longest time, only had 2 starts here. He finished second, and finished second in his inaugural race there to Al Jr., in the race that had the Beast, if you remember the Beast cars that dominated the field. And then the Penske Beasts. There's some good videos on YouTube on that. Check those out.
Right.
And I like how especially they that was back when they still had the Concorde, and they would actually overnight parts on the Concorde. Imagine the cost that everything that they had to do for just that car. But good thing it won the 500. But Villeneuve finished second that year, won the next year thanks to Scott Goodyear, and then went to Formula One. And we didn't see him for a long time, and part of that because of the split. Then came back about, was it 15 years later, and I think he was driving for Sarah Fisher Racing in the Dollar General sponsored car, and that was the first time that he came back to even defend his title. And I don't remember exactly what he finished that race, but he is one of the few drivers to win the 500 and then spend a very long time before coming back to, I guess, officially defend their title. Of course, Villeneuve was in the Daytona 500.
He was there. I think it was like 5 years ago or something like that, or maybe 3 years ago. He was there recently.
Yeah, he was in the Daytona 500 this year when they had the new car.
You're right.
Yeah, I don't remember what he finished. Let's see, what is Jesper saying? Andretti should have won in 95, and he should have won in 91, and he should have won in 92. There was a number of races that Andretti should have won. I remember the 95 race. Actually, I think I picked him that year, and he was, and I've done this. This has happened to me before. He had, who was in front of him that was pitting? It was one of the Pac West cars. That was Gugelmin was pitting, and I don't think he was anticipating or something, and he passed him on the high side while he was pitting, slowing down, and he just washed right up into the wall, and that was it. I mean, he was leading at the time, and he just kind of went up into the wall and smacked it, and came around, pitted. Actually, no, you know what? I think he hit the wall and then immediately slowed down and made pit road, and then the damage was done. Too serious to fix, and that was 95, and that was his last 500 for I think about 10 years.
So I went ahead and cheated. I looked it up. Gilles-Villeneuve went back to the Indy 500, or came back to the Indy 500 in 2014 with Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports.
Okay, Schmidt-Peterson, but I think he still had the. Did he have the? I think he had the Dollar General sponsorship. I can't remember, but that was his. So between 95 and 14, I just do the math.
Yeah, 19 years.
Yeah, that's the longest that I think a driver has taken to come back to defend his title.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. And he finished 14. That wasn't that bad.
Now, some people might be saying Montoya out there, but I think Montoya might have been right around 15 years was the difference between his race wins. So they were a little bit longer. Yeah.
So I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to look again.
I'm pretty sure Montoya was 15, so he won in 2000, won 2015. If I think that right. Ooh, we got a car. Oh, that's Cesar Cabral down the main straight, getting out of the way of the leaders. Very gentlemanly of him. He's a great character. If anybody gets a chance to talk to Cesar, he is a great character. We love talking with him. Back up front is your leader, Bodenfuhr. Has pulled himself out to a 2.5 second lead over Harrington. Harrington has himself about a 2.2 second lead over Lyons, so they're about evenly spread across here. We are looking at pit stops very, very soon. In fact, Bodenfuhr's pit stop might come up here in the next lap or so.
Yeah, I think we're going to see him coming into the pits around lap 42 if everything is, consistent. And, Connor Harrington and Will Lyons should be able to extend that to at least lap 44.
Yeah, I think in chat, Villenmacher, I think is that you, Adam? I think that is Adam. So the setup is way more technical on the IndyCar than the W12. Okay, all right, that is definitive, and he'll be racing Sunday night to get his points necessary for the Division I championship. And I guess if you want to use this race to get a good I rating, because next week, for a lot of drivers, next week might be the drop week. I expect to see an all-time low for people registering for next week as we move to the Chicago Street Course for the first time with these Indy cars. The Roar on the South Shore. We will get to see for the first time officially here, and I tell you what, we did a race there in the FIS, and I think 17 cars started and 7 finished. I think, and every car just about had some difficulty. That track really is not, with the runoff area and everything, not really set up for these cars, but they got chosen to be on the schedule, and we're going to see some folks see how well they can navigate the concrete canyons, because as danger as they come, I'd rather fly with Tom Cruise in the real canyon there in Top Gun 2 than run those canyons there in Chicago, because they are brutal.
Yeah, I don't think that track is going to be that great for these cars, although some of the other street courses that we have are also very tight. I'm not sure if they're as tight on some of the corners as the Chicago layout. It's an interesting experiment, that's for sure. And now that I know that they're going to be racing there, I might even try it myself.
Brave man.
Yeah. Or, lack of self-preservation.
Here's a battle between battle of A spot here. Christopher Hill and Klein Busnick. This is the closest battle on the racetrack at the moment. We want to keep one eye on these guys, and we also want to watch Bodenfuhr because he might be making that straight shot on the pit road right now. Let's see. Nope, he's making the left turn to continue on, so he's conserved a little, it looks like.
I mean, that's a massive development, because he's been able to put some really, really fast laps and actually make now a 3-second lead of our Connor Harrington there. And I was looking at Julian Klein-Busnick there in P9. He went by Harley Lloyd a couple of laps ago, and now he's hounding Chris Hill there, like you mentioned there, for P8. So he's mounting his charge again.
So let's ride along with Julian.
Yes, Hayato Matsuda is the first one coming into the pits from our front runners.
And he was first last time. So this means the window is open for just about everybody.
Yeah, he came in and it was lap 19, and now it's lap 43. So he was able to make it work a little bit more.
Here's that first turn where they've defined the rules of what's limits inbounds and out of bounds there a little bit better.
And I think Bodenfuhr is coming into the pits. Yes, he is.
Head down the Holman Straight.
Ending up on lap 43.
Right in front of this battle right here. There's the suites there, and the turn 2 suites. Used to be part of the Speedway Hotel. That's no longer there anymore. But those are just now straight hospitality suites. And if you get a chance to go into those, especially if you go into higher stories, you are looking right down on the roof. Klein-Busnick really getting close to the rear wing of Hill there. But you get a chance to look right down into the cockpit of some of these cars, and you can see the driver's hands moving and everything. It's that level of detail there in the suites. On the push to pass to the inside of Christopher Hill going into turn 1. Is Hill going to let him have it? Hill's going to let him have it. Completes the pass. And Klein-Busnick now is up into 4th. While we're currently going through the second round of pit stops. Connor Harrington is your leader. We'll just roll with him for a little bit. Here he comes on the pit road. How he maximizes that time on pit in. Getting down to the line, locking up those tires. Every second counts. Every 10th of a second counts.
Yeah, and we'll see where they blend in. Something that I was looking at on the tires from Jan Bedford's car when he came in last time around on the Reds, and when he came with this the alternates here this time around, there was a lot of graining on the Reds one versus on the black one. The black didn't do great at all, so that's gonna be interesting. He's gonna have to. Well, I'm not sure which one he chose, by the way.
Right now we show
shows on the primary, but I'm not sure if that's right.
I show Bodenfuhr on showing him on the primary as according to timing and scoring. Just watch Connor Harrington there in that slick looking livery. Got to drive down this portion and then exit right there at the cones now. Not the Formula One course. You used to exit right there, right before the corner. Kind of dangerous at times, especially when a bunch of cars are joining at the same time. When he's back underway, Christopher Hill is your leader.
Yeah, but a much better blend in for turn 1. I mean, on the other road course, the older one version we had, it was pretty much a nightmare.
It's almost like Long Beach, where it just dumps you all in, everybody all together right there in turn 1. And then, sort it out. You only have a few, 10, 20, 30 feet here, but sort it out.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, well, go ahead, you blend right into traffic, and good luck to you.
Here's Christopher Hill going to make another lap. Right behind him is Chris Bauman. Having a bit of a rough day, but he's a lap down in 17th. Still a little bit more time. We're 46 to 65 laps here to make up some time, some lost ground here.
And I'm saying that Bedford is on the primary, and then Harrington and Will Lyon, they're both on the alternates. And yeah, they both actually turned a faster lap. Well, Harrington turned a faster lap than John Bedford there, although the blend-in shows Harrington 3.5 seconds behind Bedford.
We're just showing Hagelin, who's been in the top 10 on pit road here. He's in that DHL Dallara. It's what Romain Grosjean drives in the IndyCar Series. A number of different liveries they have in that team. That's got kind of the nature of sponsorship in IndyCar now, is that kind of racing in general. You'll have a sponsor for a series or packages of races. So a lot of times, weekends to weekends, liveries will change now. We've seen Roman in a green car before. Forget what he was racing at Iowa in, but yeah, they seem to change the liveries almost every week, with the exception of I think about the exception that I can think of. Maybe the Aero McLaren cars are about the same. Also, Dixon, I think, remains about the same as well. There's a couple other cars, but a lot of them do change from week to week.
Yeah, I think Will Power also, it has like the Verizon sponsorship throughout, although he does have some special paint schemes.
I kind of like the one a lot of people didn't like. I kind of like what he had for the 500 with that yellow nose. It looked like he was like a spaceship trying to re-entering Earth's atmosphere type thing. And I kind of told our boss man here at Race First that Race First would look kind of good on the side with kind of that type of a color gradient. And well, he didn't take too kindly to it. So maybe I just have a different eye than him. I don't know, but.
But no, I agree. I mean, I think it was a great paint scheme. I'm not sure why people were against it. I was like, well, hey, that's cool. I'm watching that Alex Hagelin there is running Julien-Vidot for P10, trying to make a move on him. Entering turn 7.
Yeah, let's take a look there. Also, Chris Bauman did get back on the lead lap through pit stops. Woof.
They're still
side by side, and
in
a place where you don't want to necessarily be side by side.
Yeah, that's asking for trouble. But again, these guys have been driving a masterful race. So if they can go side by side, I mean, if anyone can go side by side, it's these guys. This field has been super challenging and done a great job all race long.
Oscar's asking, is that willpower? No, that is Seamus power. And we know Will doesn't have a brother named Seamus. We know his brother's Damien. You got to check out. Damien is a stand-up comedian in Australia. You got to check out his act on YouTube. It's funny. It's hilarious. He introduces himself and his family to the crowd. He goes, "That's right. My brother's name's Will Power. Can you imagine my father introducing me? Here's my son Damien and my other son Will Power." And so he makes fun of it, and he also is very proud of his brother being a 500 winner and an IndyCar champion. Had some jokes about him driving a Ferrari and stuff, and how life is rough for Will Power here. That's a joke. It's not rough for Will Power here. But this is Seamus Power. I don't know if he has a brother named Damien, and he's probably not related to Will, but he is currently running 12th right now in the IIS race here. Thanks for joining us. It is Raceverse coverage of the iRacing IndyCar Series at Indianapolis Grand Prix weekend. If you've seen qualifications already, don't spoil anything in chat. I haven't seen it yet. That is my next stop after this. Although if I have to make if I have to make an assumption, probably willpower. There's a good shot willpower might be on the pole. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I would assume the same. I also haven't seen it, but no, I was watching the push to pass situation. It seems like these drivers haven't really used it at all, and they're kind of keeping it for the end of the race. I'm seeing that Barber has 8 and Harrington has 7. So they really haven't been abusing the thing at all. And I'm not sure if they're going to be able to use it at all, if they need to save any fuel, especially for Barber, who pitted 1 lap earlier than these other guys. But that's something that is definitely going to be interesting.
Well, I guess if you want to take the extra time on pit road, and if you have the extra space in the tank, go ahead and fill it up, and then hit that button once a lap, every lap at the end there, and or every other lap, and maybe help yourself. But you're right, the situation with him is 8. The situation with Connor Harrington is 7. We said Will Power holds on to him till the end, and he still has his full complement of 10. David Porcelli has 7. Kevin Burrell has 8. Matsuda has 10. Your big user is Klein Busnik, and he used 1 right off the bat on the start there, and he is down to 2. Of course, some of that had to fight back from lost ground, where he had a bit of an off early on, and he had to try to make up some positions, and he hasn't quite made up all those lost positions, but he's made up about half of them.
Yeah, and he's been doing a great job going through those spots that he lost, but yeah, the field is a little bit too strung out for him right now. And with only 2 push paths left, I'm not sure. I mean, although he's closing in on Hayata Matsuda there for P6, so he might be able to get that one, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to move much further after that.
So we got Jason in chat saying Connor's on the primary, and we're showing Connor. Well, we're going to take your word for it, because the display is saying that he is on the alternate. But again, maybe now it's starting to impact timing and scoring as well. So if Jason says he's on the primary, he might actually be on the primary. Good to see that the dating bots have found chat. How you doing, guys? But for a good time, you probably want to watch IndyCar racing here on Race First, and then maybe go to Peacock after this and check out IndyCar practice this morning, qualifications this afternoon for tomorrow's Indy Grand Prix. Probably check that out on NBC tomorrow sometime. Look that up for your local listings. Don't want to miss it. So it looks like Adam's saying the entries tab is the only way to be sure. So maybe you could tell me, Antonio, through the entries tab on the native iRacing overlay, what he is possibly on.
So from the entries tab, I'm seeing that Connor has the alternate.
Okay, so we are timing and scoring is reflecting properly. Okay, so he is on the alternates. Maybe he is going to save the last stint for the primes. I don't know.
Well, he already was on the primary, so and this is the last stint. This is all the way to the checker.
Oh, so he's doing. That's right. He's. I'm not doing my math at the moment. Sorry. Yeah, he's good to go to the end here. You're right.
Yeah, so Bedford on the primaries, and then both Harrington and Lyon on the alternates there. Then also Porcelli on the reds, and Kevin Burrell on the primaries for your top 5. So it is showing up correctly.
All right, we'll just loosely see that is correct or not. Jason's definitely he's reiterating he's definitely on the primary, so. Maybe he might be spotting for him. That could how he possibly knows. But we'll just go.
We'll probably don't get the most updated information here anyway.
Yeah. We'll if he's a spotter, we're getting the real deal, I'm sure. Unless he's trolling us and he's wanting us to believe this, but actually he's saying, hey Connor, we got everyone believing that you're on the other compound, these fools, whatever, I don't know. Profi, I don't get it. Yeah, I reported the bug to iRacing, and when they reported back, they said that we know about this and we're working on it. And that was right before I think the big release of last month, for the month actually, and that was right before then, and I was kind of expecting it, but I guess not. So maybe we'll see it in a future future release where they get that bug fixed, but it is a bit annoying.
Yeah, and I was looking again at Julian Kleinbusnik, and he just passed Hayata Matsuda there for P6, so his charge is still alive, although he has now around 8 seconds, no, 16 seconds to get to Kevin Burrell, so that's probably going to be a very tough one to...
And one push...
No, I was right, 8 seconds there.
One push of the button left.
Will Ionder has been closing in a little bit on Connor Harrington for P2. The last lap they were dead even on time. They did a 1:13 flat, both of them. But the lap before, Will Ion was around 2 or 3 tenths faster than him. As Andrew Duffy is right in front of him. Couple laps down. Well, 1 lap down.
Yeah, once again, if you're just joining us, you're watching Race First coverage of round 12 of Friday's top split of the IndyCar iRacing Series, coming to you from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Grand Prix course, the brand spanking new one, where John Bodenfuhr currently leads with about 10 laps to go now. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. We sure would appreciate it. We've had races every day this week except for Tuesday. It was an off week for the FIS. Next week we'll have races every day of the week. Take a real quick look at the purple lap stat here. Bring that in here. And Connor Harrington still purple with a 1:11.703. And you see last 5 lap average for all these drivers here. You can see who's coming and going. See Will Lyon last 5 laps 1:12.9 versus the 1:13 of Connor. So he is slowly rolling Connor in. Bodenfuhr a 1:12.9 that time for last 5 lap average.
Yeah, an interesting battle is brewing there for P6 between Julian Kleinbusnik, Hayata Matsuda, and now Chris Hill is joining that fray.
We'll bring that back here and check him out. Start with Christopher Hill. This is all action in front of him, but he's running them down. Kleinbusnik did get around all these guys and just recently passed Matsuda, but has not gotten away.
Yeah, last time by, the fastest of this group was Chris Hill. This time around, Kleinbusnik was able to make a better lap there, but pretty much flat with Hayata Matsuda. A little faster than Chris Hill, but they're very close together, and they still have some push to pass there to be able to make some changes, although Julian Kleinbusnik is down to 1 only, so he's going to be a sitting duck if Matsuda and Hill start using theirs.
Nine to go, so we're getting down to brass tacks here at Indianapolis in the IIS. Who's going to bring home the first win of the top split? Of course, everyone, anytime there's a new track out there, you want to be that first winner of the top split. Hopefully here soon, and I'm not going to hold my breath, because if I do, I'm probably not going to survive. That we'll get the oval here soon, but I got to fill in. We're not going to see the oval for... If iRacing was nice, they would give it to us much sooner, maybe as a Christmas gift. That would be nice. But my fear is we won't see the oval until May, and that's like 10 months away. So I'm hoping that iRacing will be nice and gets the oval to us here sooner than that.
Fingers crossed for that. I think, well, or maybe I'm just hopeful, but I think we're going to get it next season.
I hope you're right. I hope, because like I said, and I like to joke around, if these cars had fenders, we'd have an oval track.
For sure we would.
And no, I'm not bitter. No, I'm not bitter.
And I'm sure that that's going to give us Portland very soon.
I really hope that. But the last time I raced Portland on a sim was IndyCar Racing 2. That's how long ago. That's how long ago I raced Portland on a sim.
The memories.
Looks like in chat, Oval will be probably released with the next new build. Okay, so that's good news. That's good news.
As Matsuda starts showing the car to Glen's Busnik.
Supposedly, and we'll go back to this battle, Klein Busnik and Matsuda and Hill. Supposedly, there was somebody scanning the streets of Toronto. We don't know who it was. I don't know if it was iRacing or if it was another one of the sim companies. But somebody was supposedly scanning Toronto. So that would be nice to have again. I haven't raced Toronto since IndyCar Racing 2. But it'll be nice to see that one back. I have never, and all of us can pretty much say this as well, I've never raced at St. Pete.
Never, ever. No game has had it. Which is a shame, honestly. I hope we get it some point soon.
I think we will. I mean, I think it's been on the IndyCar calendar long enough, and we know it's not going to go away. And it's kind of basically the East Coast version, or the east side of the country's version of Long Beach for these guys. So I could see definitely St. Pete staying on the schedule for quite some time, and it'll be nice to see. Here's Klein Busnik doing the snake now, trying to break the draft there of Matsuda. And the number 9, no, that's not Scott Dixon, but it looks like him. And then the number 9 PNC Bank Dallara. But I like to see St. Pete on the race or iRacing service for sure.
Yeah, but IndyCar Racing 2, man, that had so many great tracks. Like, I remember going to Berkeley from the airport there at Cleveland, and Vancouver, and Queensland for in Australia. That was amazing.
And it had the old Long Beach, or the configuration before this current version. Right. And that's my favorite one. I think that's the version that Al Jr. won like 4 straight at, or something like that. He was the king of the beach with that layout. But that's kind of my favorite version of that Long Beach course. But yeah, a lot of tracks that we kind of taken for granted that are. That we raced there and are no longer here. Nazareth
Speedway.
Nazareth.
Man, I love the track.
Yeah.
Such a shame to see what it's become nowadays, but let's get Dale Jr. to make that one come back to life like he did for North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, we've talked about this kind of on other broadcasts before, where they want to scan the real deal and everything, but then again, when you come out with, okay, you scan Chicago, so Chicago will be accurately reproduced with bumps and everything, but when you throw iRacing Superspeedway out there, which is in no way, form, or imagination, well, just an imagination, but not in reality real at all. I mean, it's hard to say, well, we can't do Nazareth, and we can't do even like historical speedways like Ontario or Texas World Speedway. You really can't at that point say we can't do those because we can't scan them. I think an overwhelming number of people here on the service would say, just give us a track, and here's my money, and we'll pay for it. And if you don't want, and one of the other arguments I heard is that, well, they don't want it to be part of the official races. Don't make them part of the official races then. Just say that the non-official scan tracks are not part of official races, and they're there for league use and individual testing purposes only and whatever. That's fine. You don't have to make them part of official races or whatnot. But I could definitely see there would be a demand out there for so certainly if there's one road course that I hear everyone say they wish IndyCar would have, Cleveland is definitely it. Cleveland undeniably is probably the undisputed champion of, I want that as a race course. And you could race it on what is it, AMS2 right now?
I think AMS2 has it. Yeah.
And yeah, you could do that, and then realize how blind those corners are, because there is no elevation change at that point, and you're just basically going off of brake markers that, okay, there's a turn. There's a reason why airplanes sit so high, so they can see those turns. When you're sitting so low in an IndyCar, you just kind of gotta memorize that course. Those turns are so blind.
Yeah, Yeah, and you know, in the times of IndyCar Racing 2, where graphics were not good.
Side, yeah, for sure. Side by side, Masuda and Klein Busnik taking a hacky show. This is for a shot to get the P6. Yeah, when the graphics weren't great, it was even harder to turn.
Yeah, exactly. You only saw like everything was great. Yeah, Matsuda has been hounding Derek Busnik for the last couple of laps, although he makes a little mistake there, jumps over the curb, and that's going to upset the car a little bit. He's going to lose a couple tenths. The fastest car on track is still Jim Bedford.
Yeah, we'll go back up to the front here momentarily. Yeah, this is the closest. This is the closest battle right here that we're trying to keep an eye on, as Bodenfuhr has himself about a 4-second lead at the moment.
Oh, Matsuda spins.
Oh, get it straight, get it straight, get it straight. There we go. And he's off, and thankfully only loses one position. Christopher Hill, I think Christopher Hill did make a way around him.
Yeah, he lost one spot to Chris Hill, and he has now Harley Lloyd getting closer to him. I'm not sure he's gonna be able to pass him, but now the tires are a little bit, have a lot of heat because of that semi burnout he did, so he might lose another spot right here.
Yeah, he's got Harley Lloyd there in that Vodafone Formula One livery, tracking him down. I like how we have a good mix of IndyCar liveries, current. I don't think we have any past IndyCar liveries showing right now. We got old Formula One liveries, current Formula One liveries, team liveries out there. Everyone sporting something very snazzy. Good work all the painters have put into these cars. Of course, the IR18 is probably one of the hardest cars to paint on the entire service.
Yeah, it certainly is. I'm looking also at Julien Vidot. He's really close in to Alex Haglund there for P10.
Let's get the camera back there. They're right behind this battle right here.
Is he gonna send it there? He's gonna try.
He's
and
clear.
He makes it work.
He makes it work.
What a clean pass.
Yeah, that actually is that turn does work pretty well as a passing zone. There are not very many of them here on this track, to be honest. We've seen some passes happen in places that aren't passing zones here, though, especially on the infield portion.
Yep. Although Haglund is coming back.
Here comes Haglund back on the inside, getting that draft. Gonna outbrake each other. Each car twitchy under braking.
Yeah, and Haglund is able to respond, come back, and keep that position as we enter the last lap of the race.
Yeah, we'll get the camera back to Bodenfuhr, who seems to have himself a pretty comfortable 3.9-second lead over Connor Harrington.
Vidot is trying to get that spot again, entering turn 7, and they touch a little bit. He makes it work, though.
And I bet you these tires are spent for these guys, so they're just trying to keep a car underneath them. Get back to Bodenfuhr here, as he's going through. He's not too far away from these guys, to be honest. He probably doesn't want to see a wreck happen in front of him, so he's going to take it easy. Harrington right behind him there, entering oval turn 2. But here he comes through the turn 1 portion of the infield, working his way back out onto the main straightaway here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Looking at the start-finish line and a checkered flag at the Yard of Bricks. John Bodenfuhr, the number 1, goes number 1 here in the top split. Here on Friday's action here in the IIS on Raceverse. Connor Harrington secures that number 2 spot for the private label team. Will Lyon IAR team gets himself a very solid P3, going to help him in the championship. Here comes David Porcelli. He's in the top 10 of the championship, looking at a top 5 finish and is good for him. Kevin Burrell, he's in the Division II Championship, which we really don't cover too much here, but he is among the leaders over there in the Division II Championship, and he is going to get himself a solid top 5, and that's going to help him in the Division II Championship. Here comes Klein Busnick recovering from his early spin, getting the 6th place here. Right behind him, Christopher Hill, having 2 good days, a win last night, a top 10 here in IIS.
Matsuda and Lloyd going
side by side, and Matsuda gets Lloyd by the narrowest of margins, by 1/10 of a second. Oh, don't run into the back of Cabral there. As he runs long, he wants to go run the oval. I don't blame him. Harley Lloyd finishing 9th, Vidot 10th, as Haglund gives him a bit of a friendly nudge. Seamus Power 12th as he is done. And we are starting to see all of those drivers go ahead and either drive their car back to the pits or Alt F4 for the day.
A little bit of a burnout from John Bedford before getting out of the car. Celebrating.
So let's look at the final stats before popping into the interview room. See if there's we got a couple people there. Got Will and John, so we'll bring them up here momentarily. But let's take a look at tonight's final standings here at Grand Prix weekend. Hope everyone enjoys the IndyCar coverage virtually and for real this weekend. It's going to be a big weekend. Weather outside, looking right now, just north of Indianapolis, blue skies and cloudy. Can't be any better. I hope everybody gets a chance to go outside.
Yeah, for sure. Enjoy yourselves, and let's go back through the final results. So the winner is John Bedford. A dominating performance. Really did a wonderful job with that car. And then we had Connor Harrington and Will Lyon. They are rounding up the podium. They were together pretty much most of the race.
Yeah, all 3 of these guys. Yeah.
Then we have David Porcelli and Kevin Burrell. That's your top 5. Julian Klein-Busnick, P6. With Christopher Hill, P7. Hayata Matsuda, P8. Harley Lloyd, P9. Julian Vidot, P10. Alex Haglund, P11. They were fighting really close together that last couple laps. Seamus Power, P12, with Dylan Freckleton in P13. Andrew Duffy, P14, with Colin Finland, P15. Cesar Cabral, P16, with Matthias Cross, P17. Josh Brain, P18. Chris Bowman, P19. Will Weiser, P20. Then we have Richard Crozier, P21. Gerard Borrell, P22. And Robert Nash, P23, who was a victim of that lap 4 incident or something like that. So there we go.
All right, so let's we'll bring Will Power up here momentarily. Just 1 second.
Will Power, we got Will Power.
Will Power. Did I say Will Power? Will Lyon. Although he probably wishes he's Will Power. Let me let's give a second here. Let's get that extra bug off. There we go. There we go. Let's find Will here, and let's get his car on the video for the replay. All right, we got him back. We'll bring up Will Power Lyon here to the broadcast in the booth. Will, congratulations on the podium. You were just kind of in contact with those 3 all day and kind of raced each other. But what was the definitive thing that kept you from getting that top spot?
Yeah, I was really pleased with quali. The pace was good. I don't know if Connor or John made mistakes on their laps, but I was pretty pleased with the 1 lap pace. Yeah, the race wasn't great. It was a bit boring, to be honest. There was nothing I could do on strategy to get ahead of those guys, and I didn't fight them when I was on the primaries because I could tell immediately I didn't have the grip on them. I felt like I was alright on the alternates initially, but particularly in that third stint, I mean, all of a sudden, I think I got like 10 laps into the third stint on the alternate tires, and then the grip just died, and I had nothing. Yeah, I think I need to go back and look at the setup and see what I could have done better to sort of keep the long run pace up a little bit. But I know Connor and John are better drivers than me, so it was nice to at least be in there.
Don't do yourself a disservice. We know how good you are. But let's talk about the new circuit. It looked like certainly that just by not just setup wise, but there's just kind of seems to be a lack of passing areas here, even with this new version of the circuit versus the Formula One circuit. Is it just tough to really get the opportunities to make up ground on people because it's so much everyone on 100% throttle?
The thing is, it's quite weird because I think there's actually more overtaking spots. There's more braking zones. But the problem is the straights aren't as long, and obviously, you used to be able to slipstream pass into turn one and just overtake whoever you wanted. But now we have more overtaking possibilities, but it's just actually getting that run out of the corner previous. I was really struggling with dirty air today, and as soon as I got behind someone, I just couldn't keep up with them in sector 3 at all. So yeah, I don't know, maybe it just needs some work on the setup, but I mean the track is a lot better than the old layout in general, just to drive, just in terms of hot lapping on your own.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, perhaps the racing aspect is a little bit more difficult just because we don't have that stupid long stretch down the turn one where even if you were 5 times slower than the guy ahead, you could keep up. So that was the difference. I think maybe on the old layout we could have just stayed behind John and just fuel saved and try and overcut him at the end. But the problem was we just we couldn't get close to him. There's just too many twisty bits, I think, in sector 3 for us to really follow closely, and traction was a real problem as well. But I really enjoy the scan.
Maybe what they should do is to spice things up is do a Joker lap where maybe one lap or so out of every 10 or so you can use the old Formula One turn one final turn there and just bypass that turn one infield portion. That might keep things a little bit even up. But I hear you, and frankly, I mean, you've only had the track since Monday. So there's still a lot more work to go into setups as this track matures a lot more.
Yeah, for sure. And we didn't spend a huge amount of time on setup this week. To be honest, the main thing was just learning the track, because the amount of times I've nearly gone straight on at the old Formula One layout. Yeah, it was crazy. It's like you just get in a rhythm and you think you're back on the old track again, and you just go straight on. So yeah, it took a bit of adjusting to get used to the track, but yeah, we've got work to do.
Antonio, you got anything?
No, really, congratulations on that P3. Great racing from you. We didn't see a lot of using of that push-to-pass situation. Was that because of the tires degrading that much?
I mean, I probably could have used them to catch up with Connor at the end of the final stint, but I just wanted to see whether I could keep up with him first of all, and then the tires just dropped off a cliff, and yeah, I just didn't see the point in using it early on, because it was a bit of a fuel save as well in the first 2 stints. So yeah, I was just saving them for the final 10 laps, see where I was, but unfortunately by then Connor was starting to scamper away every lap, so I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, your MO is normally save them till late and use them in the closing laps to either pull away or close the gap. We've seen you do both cases, but congratulations. I mean, to still finish on the podium in the top split for the first week that the track's out still says a lot to your ability, so congrats on that. And anybody that you want to say hi to, shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, just everyone in the Alliance. Myself and Rashad have put in quite a bit of work this week. Falling a little bit short perhaps on the setup, but yeah, just a big shout out to those guys working on developing us as drivers.
All right, next week, Chicago Street Course. So I guess you should probably prepare to see that right front suspension, left front suspension bent quite a bit. So I'm sure there's a lot of practice in store for that place, but and patience. So we'll see you then. But until then, have yourself a good weekend, and congrats on the podium.
Brilliant. Cheers, guys.
See ya. All right, let's bring up Connor Harrington. Hey, Connor, got you up in the booth here, Antonio and Gary. Hey, good week for you on the podium there in Lionheart, and on the podium here, not too bad. I'm sure you probably would like wins in both cases, but can't complain, really.
Yeah, no, a pretty good week for us. I think we had fourth in the Monday night SOF race, and then third in Lionheart, second here. So I guess the next one should be a win. But yeah, our private label team hype machine was pretty good. I'm not sure if we were as fast as John. I think we just missed a little bit on the downforce level. We were a little bit faster in a straight line, but I just don't think we could have kept up with them in the final two sectors. But yeah, the car was pretty good. Didn't manage to not make a ton of mistakes in a pretty long race, and strategy was pretty optimal. So sometimes you're just not gonna be able to get the win, but it was a good afternoon of racing.
Yeah, I heard you're the second person to say it's kind of a long race. How do you keep your focus on, because Open doesn't last this long. Maybe Lionheart will. I can't recall if Lionheart will go this long. But Indy Fix definitely, if they ever race here, won't be this long. How do you keep your focus? Because that's 75% length of what the real guys are going to be doing tomorrow. Is it just training yourself, or do you have someone in your ear helping you out, or how do you stay focused the entire time? Because I kind of did hear it got boring at times a little bit for some of the other drivers as well.
Yeah, I had Jason Brophy hop in and just kind of give me my fuel number just to make sure we made the strategy go right. Honestly, that was the thing that kind of kept me focused, was just making sure that those first two stints, they were long enough so that we could push in the final stint if we needed to. But it was kind of evident in the middle of the second stint that I don't think we were going to catch John there. But yeah, we do a lot of endurance racing at private label Team Hype. Obviously, it's really cool that we're owned by a two-time Le Mans winner and Tommy Milner. So it's really great when we get to do the special event and stuff like that. So, the races can get a little bit long or a little bit leery or a little bit spread out just because of how the official series works, where there's no safety cars on road. So,
yep.
That's the one thing that's going to be different from the real life stuff. So it doesn't give you a whole lot of room to play with the strategy and stuff like that.
Right.
But who knows? Maybe at some point, maybe we'll get that stuff enabled, and we'll get some realistic full course shows.
Antonio, you got anything?
Yeah, Connor, congratulations on that podium. I do have a question for you. What tire did you end up on the last stint? Because we were showing that you had the alternate on all of our overlays and all the information we had, and Brophy was telling us that you were on the primary. So just to try and clarify, which one were you using?
We had the alternate on the first stint, and then we took two sets of black tires the last two stints there. So yeah, I know it's a little bit of a interesting like glitch or something like that, where it just doesn't display the correct tire that you're on. But yeah, we were on the black tire there for both stints. That's why Will kind of came back towards us there at the beginning of the stint and then fell away at the second half. We felt like the black tire was the better full stint tire. So yeah, we went with two sets of blacks.
Shout out to anyone to say hi to before we let you go. I know you got a whole host of teammates and people watching from home.
Yeah, just want to say thank you to everybody at Private Label Team Hype. Tommy Milner and Ty Stover they always support us in whatever we want to do, and they support us and get us into some great series. And really can't thank everybody enough at Ethica and Private Label, and and everybody at Team Talent. So we'll hopefully get some work schedule stuff worked out where we can make the Friday SOF more often than not. Maybe that'll become a new thing, but thanks to everybody for putting on the broadcast, and we'll hopefully see you guys soon.
I don't know, maybe next week you want to miss it. It's the Chicago Street Course.
No comment. No comment.
Well, there you have it. Congratulations on a good week for him. He got a podium in the Lionheart Series at Iowa and a podium here in IIS and Strength of Field Friday. So congrats, and we hope to see more of you here soon.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
There you go, Connor Harrington. Now let's bring up our winner, John. Hey, John, got you in the booth here for Antonio. And you get this question, I'm sure, 1,000 times, if not more. As someone that has their name butchered all the time, please tell us how to say your last name.
Yeah, it's Betafer.
Betafure, and we weren't even close.
We were close.
Maybe you were. Well, yeah, I sympathize completely. I'm Godsey, Gonzo, Goodso. I mean, Godos. I've had people butcher my last name all the time, so I highly sympathize. But besides that, I'm sure that was the least of your worries today. You just kind of ran off after getting the lead there. Look, for a while, you're just kind of content behind Will. And then as Will's pace kind of crossed over with the pace, your target pace, you pulled out past him, kind of pulled away, and the race was yours at that point, provided that no penalties in anything, and you kind of just nailed it.
Yeah, that first stint, I was really struggling on those alternate tires, especially towards the end. I just couldn't get the power down, and Will actually gapped me a little bit. So I just wanted to switch to the primaries as soon as I could. And then those last two field runs, I was just trying to hit my mileage number and manage the gap behind to Connor and Will.
We know you don't participate a lot in the we haven't at least had you in the IIS top split race. We could possibly see you in more here as the season goes on, or is it just a time and availability thing?
A little bit of an availability thing. Probably throughout the summer I'll be able to hit the road courses on this broadcast split.
Okay,
here.
cool.
So hopefully a few more appearances.
Oh, it's good having you, and a pretty great strategy, great run, kind of one pulling away. One of the things that even Connor and Will said, it was kind of because of the length and the nature of the course, it was kind of boring at times. Did you find yourself kind of getting lulled to sleep a little bit as you're just kind of ripping off laps one by one to get to the end?
Not bored. I really enjoy this new layout, so I was having a lot of fun just hitting my marks, trying to keep the power smooth when I was putting it down and just managing the gap. With one mistake and those guys would have been right behind me, so I had to maintain the focus the whole time.
Antonio, you got any questions?
Just congratulations, John. Great race. You basically dominated the entirety once you went by Wheel there. Just your general thoughts on the new layout versus the old layout. Which one do you prefer?
Oh, I definitely prefer the new layout. I at first didn't think I would like it with that kind of fast chicane in that first sector, or second sector. But yeah, I really like the new complex there at Indy Turn 1. It's a lot of fun, so really enjoying it. Glad iRacing brought it to us.
We see you sponsored in that GSI car. You have a GSI wheel?
Certainly do. Yep, I'm rocking the GXL, and I love it. It's a great wheel. Love the durability of it, and just the stiffness of it. It's really nice to drive for a 65 lap race.
Yeah, mine just arrived today, so I'm excited to get a chance to try it out. It came right before the broadcast, so I just got a chance to pull it out of the box, and that's about it right now. So I got some work to do this afternoon, but good to hear that you enjoy the wheel, and I'm looking forward to mine. But shout out to anybody you want to say hi to that might be watching, or any sponsors that you'd like to say hi to.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks you guys for the broadcast. Looking forward to watching that back. And then I just want to thank all the guys at Alpine Stars, Geodesic, GSI, GoPro, Omologato, and Wave Italy.
All right, well, there you have it. Hopefully we see you next week at the Chicago Street Course, but congratulations on the win, getting the inaugural Strength of Field race for the IIS Series at the new road course. That's a big deal. You'll always go down in history as the first, so congratulations, and we hope to see more of you soon.
Thanks, Roman.
Okay, well, that's it. Your thoughts on today? It actually it did seem like the middle portion kind of lagged, but we had a good start, and I think the finish was a lot more exciting than it looked here, especially in the mid-pack. But first race done under the IIS here on the new road course.
Yeah, for sure. First race on the new layout, on the actual layout that they're currently using, and they have been using for the last 10 years or so.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, we did have a little bit of a lull, which is part of the gist. It happens, and especially with so many laps, that's bound to happen. But we still saw, great battles through the field. We had Alex Haglund, Julien Vidot. They're fighting side by side for PH, P9, and also the leaders. They were together pretty much the entirety of the race until Jim Bedford was able to, just check out. And all in all, I think it was a great race, very reminiscent of how Indy drives in real life. So that's also kudos to iRacing for doing a great job there. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these drivers are able to manage next week at Chicago. That's
I do not. I laugh, but I shouldn't laugh. It sounds like an evil laugh. I shouldn't because they're going to do way better than I could ever do on that street course. But I'm going to tell everyone watching right now. And maybe you agree with me or not. I don't think next week is a week you really want to miss viewing wise.
Oh yeah. You don't want to miss it. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to see a lot of, a lot of things going south. The track is bumpy. It doesn't allow for very many side-by-side racing. There are not very many passing opportunities. Tempers are going to flare. I mean, it's still racing, and everyone wants to get, ahead of the other. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. That's for sure. It's a very bumpy track, so that's also going to be exhausting on some of the drivers that have some of the higher end wheels that produce a lot of Newton meters and whatnot.
Yeah,
they're going to be feeling a lot of that vibration through their entire body for the race.
Yeah, that's for sure. Got to get work on the those forearms so you can look a little bit more like Popeye and get those muscles built up over there. But that is next week. And but this week, great week to start off. I think a great race to really start off Indy Grand Prix week here. After this, everybody can then rush over to Peacock and watch practice from this morning or earlier this afternoon, and then quals right around 2, which about this. I think quals started right about the time top split started here. So again, no spoilers. I'm going to go watch it right after this. But thanks for joining and doing the pinch hit duty here for Nick. Nick was, as we said, on assignment this week, and he'll probably be back next week when we head to Chicago. But we will see you again on Thursday when we cover the Brazilian Stock Car Series when it moves to Laguna Seca. So I think that's it for today. We'll send everyone else to enjoy. If you're in the Central Indiana like me, please go out and enjoy the rest of this picturesque day. Not in front of the computer or in front of the TV, but go outside and because the weather is glorious, and we've had just an awesome, not an awesome, but awesomely oppressive, that's what I want to say, heat wave that's been through here, and today is just a breath of fresh air. So go out and enjoy it, and enjoy Grand Prix weekend here in Indianapolis. Let's get on out of here, and we'll read the final bits and turn her off. So that's it for today. Once again, your podium from Indy is John Badefuhr. Okay, I hope I said that right. I should have practiced with him while he was here, but
yeah, me too, man. Because I think I butchered it again.
Well, we did it. Yeah. Much apologies, but he was your winner, Connor Harrington. Another podium this week after on the podium at Iowa and Lionheart, and Will Lyon doing well to protect his position in the IIS Division 1 standings, finishing third. Join racers again next week for round 13 of the IndyCar iRacing Series. Like we said, you will not want to miss this. This is the series moves to the Windy City for the roar on the South Shore, as I like to say, the new Chicago Street Circuit. Coverage should begin approximately 2 p.m. Eastern Time on YouTube. Again, that's 2 p.m. Eastern Time on youtube.com/racers. As always, check your official iRacing schedule and our channel for the correct time in your area, and like we said, you won't want to miss it. Hey, we love bringing these races to you. They require time and money to produce, and they're not easy. So if you share our passion for the sport of IndyCar and have enjoyed our coverage of the IndyCar iRacing Series, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. The link is in the description, and donate to our IndyCar iRacing Series broadcast fund. We realize times are tough, so any contribution will be greatly appreciated, and we thank you for watching and make us part of your Fridays during IndyCar race weekends. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support Race First with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below and let us know what you thought of today's and tonight's race, depending on when you watch it. And if you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video, just like this. That's the best way to help us out. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss more out on Race First iRacing programming. Hey, we're in the summer. We got a whole bunch of series going on. We got racing almost every night of the week. Check us out. Hit that bell, and we will tell you when we have broadcasts. We keep your browsers set here, of course, for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge on all of iRacing. Race First, we know what Indy means. For business inquiries to learn more about Race First and what we do, visit racefirst.com or follow us on Twitter. Here are all of our Twitter profiles right there at the bottom of the page. Race First, myself, and that is Nick Sudik. But we could get to follow. What's your Twitter address there, Antonio?
It's A Estrada 7.
There you go.
You can follow me there,
and you can add him there. So for Antonio Estrada and Nick Sudik, who's on assignment, and everyone at Race First, I'm Gilles-Villeneuve saying all. Thanks for watching. To all our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, come home safe. Be sure to catch the real stars of cars of the NTT IndyCar Series this weekend on the Peacock app or your NBC affiliate. Check your local listings for time and availability. Thanks again, everyone. Catch us next week in Chi-Town for the next race of the IndyCar iRacing Series. Good night.